Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares, and it's time for a controversial view. Now, hopefully, I can get this video done this time because this is probably the fourth time I've done it, and I've either lost power or something happens. So I'm a little frustrated, so pardon my abruptness, I guess. Today, we're going to be talking about PG rated horror films, or more specifically, Tourist Trap, and how they relate to PG-13 horror films today, since I pretty much think they're the equivalent. This is actually something that Joe and I talk about a lot, and the reason being is because there seems to be a lot of people who trash the PG-13 horror movies of today. Are they just not good? What makes PG movies from the 70s and early 80s so special? Movies like Tourist Trap, which, in my opinion, and it's the reason why we use this one, is probably the scariest PG rated horror film ever. Of course, that's just my opinion. But you also have movies like Jaws, Jaws 2. When we had the video disc for Jaws 2, it clearly stated on the bottom of it, maybe too intense for younger children. Boy, that's a blast from the past. Also, even though I'm not a big fan, people love Poltergeist. And honestly, there are some creepy scenes in Poltergeist. So, how do PG rated movies from the 70s and early 80s, why are they held in such, why are they so beloved? And PG-13 horror movies from today held in such disdain. Movies like The Turning, Wish Upon, Incarnate, The Darkness, The Boy. And there's movies that have been held in higher regard that are still PG-13, and they seem to get away with it. Movies like The Ring, even though people have turned on it. The Boy, also The Possession, Lights Out, and the movie that I used to make my argument against Joe when we were talking about this was Insidious. People love the first Insidious. Now, I'm not talking about the rest of the franchise, even though I do love that franchise. But Insidious, a lot of people considered to be scary. Really, really scary. But it's PG-13. Now, my question is, were they able to get away with more in the PG days? I mean, I already know the answer to that, but I want to see what you guys think. And are they still able to get away with more than they should in PG-13 horror movies? Or, and this is the argument, should they just make horror movies rated R and limit their exposure? There are some parents that will take their kids to see an R rated film, granted, and there are ones that won't. There are movies like The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2, which are R rated films. Are they really that bad? It's the terror in the film that makes it rated R. Because there's not really, I still find it odd that The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2, just as an example, are rated R. When movies like Tourist Trap, or The Boy are rated PG-13 or PG. And this is something I've always been curious about because in the movies that I stated, Incarnate, The Darkness, movies like that, people refer to those as January films, throwaway films. And I think that's a little too dismissive. Now, personally, and I know you say Joe and I like everything, but we don't. Movies like The Turning, I liked. The ending was a little left a little to be desired, but I liked the rest of the movie, and that didn't spoil it for me. Incarnate, I enjoyed. The Darkness, I thought was pretty good. Wish Upon, I actually kind of liked. So, what is it about PG and PG 13 movies that turn people off so much that they won't even give them a chance? That's one of the major problems is I've heard people say if it's PG-13 or PG, they won't even watch it. Why? That's our controversy for today. I felt like it was a really good one, and it really is something that Joe and I have talked about at length for quite some time. And I think what we came up with is not only was it a different time back then and you could get away with a lot more, but now since we've gone so far with horror and it's gotten so extreme with the major films like Hatchet and uh, Evil Dead, where there's just buckets and buckets of blood. Regular PG 13 rated films are just considered way too tame. I don't know. We're putting it to you guys this time. What do you think? Comment below and let us know. Let's start a discussion on this. And don't forget to check out Joe's controversial view for Tourist Trap. Remember, guys, physical media matters. And until next time, peace.